I am standing in the middle of the sacred forest, and I cannot move my legs. Around me, in the dirt, there are footprints. Baby footprints. Dozens of them. They circle me completely, some overlapping, some perfectly clear in the moonlight that breaks through the canopy above. The prints are small, the size of a newborn's feet, and they are everywhere. They were not here 2 minutes ago. I know this because I have been tracking my own boots since I entered this part of the forest, watching my path so I could find my way back. I saw clean ground. Empty dirt. Now there are prints, and they are still appearing. As I watch, frozen, another tiny footprint presses into the soil 3 feet to my left. Then another. Then 2 more behind me. Nothing is making them. The crying has stopped. That is somehow worse than when it was screaming. My name is Kofi, and I have made a terrible mistake. It started 3 days ago when my sister Amma did not come home. She is 12, small for her age, with a gap between her front teeth and a laugh that sounds like water running over stones. She went to fetch firewood in the afternoon and never returned. My mother wailed. My father organized search parties. The whole village walked the forest paths calling her name until dark. But no one would search after sunset. The elders were very clear about this. When the sun goes down, you do not enter the sacred forest. You do not respond to sounds that come from the trees. You do not follow voices, even if they sound like your own family begging for help. The forest, they said, can copy anything. It listens during the day and repeats what it hears at night, trying to lure people deeper into places they should not go. I have heard these warnings my entire life. Every child in our village knows them. But that was before it was Amma missing. For 3 days, we searched only in daylight. We found nothing. No torn cloth, no footprints, no sign she had ever walked past the usual gathering areas. My mother stopped eating. My father's face became hollow. On the 3rd night, I could not sleep. I lay on my mat listening to my mother cry in the next room, and I decided that the old stories were just superstition. Fear of the dark. Nothing more. So tonight, I took my hunting knife and my torch and I entered the forest alone. The first hour was fine. I walked the same paths we had searched during the day, calling Amma's name softly, listening for any response. The forest at night is loud with insects and night birds, but nothing seemed wrong. Nothing seemed evil. I began to feel embarrassed by my fear. Then I heard the baby crying. It came from deeper in the forest, past the marked trees that show the boundary of safe gathering areas, past the point where the elders say the sacred groves begin. The sound was high and desperate, the sound of an infant in pain or terror. It wailed and wailed, pausing only to draw breath before screaming again. I stopped walking. My torch beam shook in my hand. There should not be a baby out here. No one brings infants into the deep forest. No one. The crying continued, and I thought, what if someone did bring a child and got lost? What if there is a real baby dying out there while I stand here being afraid of stories? I told myself I would walk just close enough to see. Just close enough to be sure. The crying stayed ahead of me no matter how fast I walked. It moved through the trees, always just out of sight, leading me in a direction I had never gone before. The path disappeared. The trees became strange shapes I did not recognize. My torch beam seemed weaker, as if the darkness here was thicker. Then I broke through a stand of raffia palms and entered a small clearing, and the crying stopped. Just stopped. Mid-scream. The silence fell like a physical weight. That is when I looked down and saw the footprints. At first, there were only 5 or 6, small prints in a rough circle around where I stood. I turned in place, shining my torch on them, trying to understand. Baby feet. Border. Recent. The edges of the prints were still sharp, not yet disturbed by wind or insects. Then, as I watched, another print appeared in the dirt. Just pressed itself down into the soil as if an invisible foot had stepped there. Then another. Another. They began appearing faster, circling me, spiraling inward. My heart slammed against my ribs. I wanted to run, but I could not choose a direction because the prints were everywhere now, cutting off every path out of the clearing. I turned in a complete circle, and when I faced forward again, there were no longer dozens of prints. There were hundreds. They covered the entire clearing. They overlapped each other. They pressed into the exposed roots of trees. Some were on top of leaves that had not been disturbed. And they were still appearing, faster now, a multiplication that made no sense, as if an army of invisible infants was surrounding me. I tried to speak. My voice came out as a whisper. Amma. Something moved in the trees to my right. Not walked. Moved. A rustling in the lower branches, too coordinated to be wind. I swung my torch toward it and saw nothing but leaves and darkness. But I heard it. A soft sound. Like many small hands grabbing at bark. The sound came from my left. Then behind me. Then all around. I am still standing in this clearing. I have not moved. The footprints are now so thick that I cannot see the dirt beneath them anymore. Just layers and layers of tiny impressions, some facing toward me, some facing away, some at angles that make no anatomical sense. And now, in the darkness beyond my torch beam, I hear breathing. Not one breath. Many. Small lungs inhaling and exhaling, out of sync with each other, creating a rhythm like wind through reeds. The breathing is coming closer. I do what I should have done an hour ago. If you have really enjoyed this story up to this point, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button to be notified on our next upload. Thank you. I run. I run blind through the forest, my torch swinging wild arcs of light that show me nothing useful. Branches whip my face. Roots try to catch my feet. Behind me, I hear them following. Not footsteps. Something else. A sound like many small bodies moving through undergrowth. A rustling that spreads wide on both sides of me, flanking, herding. I do not look back. I have seen enough. My lungs are burning when I slam into something solid and fall backward onto the ground. My torch rolls away, and for a terrible moment I am in complete darkness, waiting for small hands to grab me. But nothing touches me. I scramble toward my torch and pick it up, swinging it around to see what I hit. It is a tree, but not a normal one. The trunk is hollow, split open on one side like a mouth, and the opening is easily wide enough for a person to enter. Something is tied to a branch near the hollow. Cloth. Red cloth with white stars printed on it. I know this cloth. I bought it myself at the market 6 months ago. Emma wore it in her hair every single day until it faded from bright red to dull pink. My hands shake as I untie it from the branch. The cloth is torn, ripped violently, and there are dark stains on one edge that might be blood. I press it to my face and smell my sister, her shea butter hair oil, and underneath that, something else. Something rotten. She went inside. The voice comes from behind me and I spin, raising my torch and my knife together. An old woman sits on the ground about 10 feet away, her back against a tree. I did not see her when I fell. I did not hear her speak until she wanted me to. She is ancient, her face collapsed around her bones, wearing clothes so old they might have been burial wrappings. Her eyes reflect my torchlight like an animal's. Who are you? My voice sounds like a stranger's. Someone who also did not listen. She coughs, a wet sound, and I see dark liquid on her chin. Your sister. She heard them 3 days ago. She followed the crying. She found this tree. Where is she now? The old woman's laugh is worse than her cough. Gone where they all go. Down. They take you down into the root places, the places under the earth where the forest keeps its secrets. She shifts, and I see that her leg is twisted at an impossible angle. Broken. She has been sitting here for a long time. How do you know this? Because I went inside 40 years ago, looking for my son. She points at the hollow tree with a trembling finger. I found him. Or what was left of him. He was sitting in the chamber below, holding one of them, rocking it like a baby. His eyes were empty. When I tried to pull him away, he screamed and fought me like I was a demon. He chose them over me. Over his own mother. My stomach turns. What are they? The forest children. She says it like I should know. Like everyone knows. The elders, they tell you not to answer the crying, but they never tell you why. They never tell you what happens to the ones who do. Another cough. More blood. The forest children were never born. They are the ones who died in the womb, or during birth, or in the first days of life before naming. Their spirits cannot move on because they never lived. They wander here, crying, hungry to be held, to be loved, to have a mother or father claim them. I think of the footprints. Hundreds of them. How many are there? How many babies die? The old woman's eyes are fierce despite her dying body. Hundreds. Thousands. Every village around this forest for 10 generations. All the lost ones come here. And when someone finally answers their crying, when someone shows them compassion. She trails off, staring at nothing. What? What happens? They decide you are theirs. You are the parent they never had. And they will never, ever let you go. She swallows painfully. Your sister went into that tree. She found them below. And now they think she belongs to them. They marked her. Like they marked my son. Like they marked me when I tried to take him back. But you escaped. Did I? She lifts her hand, and in the torchlight I see that her fingers are too small. Shortened. Changed. They let me go because I was already old. No use to them. But they took something anyway. They always take something. And they gave me a gift in return. What gift? Knowledge. Her smile shows too many teeth. I know when they are close. I can feel them moving through the forest. Right now, old woman, they are all around us. They have been since you arrived. They are deciding what to do with you. I spin in place, shining my torch into the trees. I see nothing but shadows and leaves, but now that she has said it, I feel them. A presence. A watching. Many small eyes in the darkness. Why don't they take me now? Because you are not marked yet. You did not go inside the tree. You did not hold one of them. The old woman coughs again, harder, and more blood comes up. But you are here. You followed the crying. You broke the rule. And now you know where the tree is. They will follow you. They will cry for you. Every night, louder and louder, until you cannot stand it anymore and you come back to make them stop. I won't come back. That is what I said. She closes her eyes. That is what everyone says. But the crying finds you. In your home. In your dreams. You hear it when you are alone, when you are trying to sleep, when you are trying to forget. It gets inside your head and it stays there, and eventually, you will do anything to make it stop. Even go back into the forest. Even go down into the tree. How do I save my sister? The old woman does not answer. Her breathing has changed, become shallow. How do I save her? I ask again, louder. You cannot. Her voice is barely a whisper. She held them. Once you hold them, once you accept them as yours, they own you. The only thing you can do now is run. Run far from this village. Go somewhere they cannot find you. Break the connection before they mark you too. I'm not leaving without Amma. The old woman's eyes open one last time. Then you are already lost. Her breath rattles out of her and does not come back in. I stand in the silence, holding my sister's torn headscarf, staring at the hollow tree. From somewhere deep inside it, far below the ground, I hear crying again. But this time it is not one baby. It is dozens. And underneath the crying, I hear something else. A voice I know. Young. Female. Singing a lullaby my mother used to sing to us. Emma's voice. She is singing to them. I do not go into the tree. I run again, this time away from the hollow, away from the sound of my sister singing to things that should not exist. I run until the sacred forest spits me out onto the familiar path near our village, and I do not stop running until I reach my family's compound. My father is awake, sitting by the fire. When he sees me stumbling toward him covered in scratches and dirt, he stands so quickly his stool falls over. Kofi, where have you been? Your mother has been. I found her. The words tear out of me. I found Amma. In the forest. The deep part. My father's face changes. You went into the sacred forest at night. She's there. I heard her. She's alive. You heard her. His voice drops. What exactly did you hear? I tell him everything. The crying, the footprints, the old woman, the hollow tree. I show him Amma's headscarf. As I speak, my father's expression shifts from concern to horror to something worse. Recognition. The forest children, he whispers. You know about them. Every elder knows. We are sworn to never speak of it outside the council. He sits down heavily, suddenly looking much older. It is why we forbid going into the forest at night. It is why we tell the stories about the forest copying sounds. We thought if we never explained, if we never gave a detail, people would be too afraid to test the rule. Well, it didn't work. Amma is down there with them. My father stares into the fire. Then Amma is gone. I am sorry, my son, but if she went to them willingly, if she held them, there is nothing we can do. I won't accept that. You have to. He looks at me with wet eyes. Because if you go back, you will be lost too. And then I will have no children at all. I want to argue, to scream, to demand he help me save her. But the exhaustion hits me all at once and I can barely stand. My father helps me to my sleeping room, and I collapse onto my mat still holding Amma's headscarf. I do not think I will sleep, but I do. And I dream of crying. When I wake, It is still dark. The crying continues. I lie on my mat, listening, waiting for my mind to clear and the dream to fade. But it does not fade. The crying is real. It is coming from outside my room. Multiple babies, wailing in different pitches, creating a chorus of infant distress that makes my teeth hurt. I get up and walk to my doorway. The compound is empty. The fire has burned down to embers. The crying is coming from the forest edge, about 50 feet from our fence. As I watch, a small figure moves out of the tree line. My torch is dead, but the moon is bright enough to see by. The figure is the size of a toddler, walking on unsteady legs. It comes closer, and I see that it is not quite right. The proportions are wrong. The head too large. The arms too long. It stops at our fence and stares at me. Then another one emerges from the forest. Then 3 more. Then a dozen. They line up along the fence, swaying slightly, and the crying gets louder. I back into my room and close the door, but I can still hear them. I press my hands over my ears, but the sound comes through anyway, vibrating in my skull. This continues until dawn. When the sun rises, they are gone. I go outside and look at the fence line. There are footprints in the dust. Hundreds of tiny footprints, pressed so deep they look burned into the earth. My mother finds them when she comes out to start the cooking fire. She screams. That night, they come back. More of them this time. They stand outside every house in the compound, crying, swaying. No one sleeps. In the morning, my neighbors gather in the village center, all of us hollow-eyed and shaking. What is happening? My neighbor Kwame asks. It is my fault, I tell them all. I went into the forest. I followed the crying. I found the tree. Now they have followed me home. The elders are called. They come with ash on their faces and fear in their eyes. The head elder, Nana Yer, looks at the footprints and closes her eyes like she is in pain. You brought them out, she says to me. You went to their place and came back, and now they know where you live. They know where we all live. What do we do? There is nothing to do. We wait. We endure. Eventually they will take what they came for and return to the forest. Take what? Take who? Nana Yer does not answer. That night, the crying is so loud that people begin to weep from the sound alone. Children scream. Dogs howl. And the forest children do not stay at the fence anymore. They come into the compound. I watch from my window as they move between the houses, small pale shapes in the moonlight. They do not walk like human children. They jerk and sway, their movements wrong, puppet by something that does not understand how bodies work. One of them stops outside my neighbor's house. It stands there, crying, for nearly an hour. Then the door opens. My neighbor Abina comes out. She is a new mother, her baby only 3 months old. In the moonlight, I see her face. It is blank. Empty. She walks toward the forest child with her arms out, and when she reaches it, she picks it up. The crying stops. Abina stands there, holding the thing, rocking it gently. Then she turns and walks toward the forest. The other forest children follow her, a procession of small swaying bodies. In the morning, Abina is gone. Her real baby is still in her house, screaming, hungry, abandoned. This happens again the next night. And the night after. Each time, someone walks out of their house and goes to the forest children. A father. A grandmother. Anyone who loved a child, who lost a child, who wanted a child. The forest children give them what they need. Arms to hold them. Voices to sing to them. Parents to claim them at last. And in return, they take those people away. On the 7th night, my mother opens our door. I grab her, pull her back, but she fights me with strength I did not know she had. Let me go, she sobs. Let me go to her. She's crying. Amma is crying. I can hear her. That's not Amma. She needs me. My father helps me hold her, and together we keep her inside while she screams and claws at us. Outside, the forest children wait. I can see them through the window, dozens of small shapes, patient, knowing they will win eventually. Because every night there are more of them. And every night there are few of us. As I write this, 17 people from our village are gone. Taken into the forest. The elders say we must abandon this place, move far away, start again somewhere the forest children cannot find us. But I hear the crying every night, even when I cover my ears. And I know, the way the old woman knew, that distance will not save me. They have decided we are family now. All of us. The whole village. And family does not abandon family. One night soon, I will open my door. I will walk to them. I will pick one up and hold it and feel its cold skin against mine, and I will understand what Amma understood, what all the taken ones understood, that sometimes the only way to stop the crying is to give them what they want. If you are listening to this story, if you live near a forest, if you have ever heard a baby crying where no baby should be, do not follow the sound. Do not try to help. Do not think you are different, that the old warnings do not apply to you. Because the forest children are always hungry. They are always waiting. And once they know where you live, they will never stop crying until you come home to them. Please, share this story. Let others know what hides in the forests. Comment if you have heard the crying too, if you have seen the footprints. Subscribe so you will know when others share their warnings. We need to warn each other, before there is no one left to warn. They came for me last night. I held one, just for a moment, to make the crying stop. Its skin was cold and soft like clay, and when I looked into its eyes I saw nothing, just empty holes that went down and down forever. But it stopped crying when I picked it up. It smiled at me. This morning I woke at the forest edge with no memory of walking there. The footprints lead from my house to the trees in a straight line. Tonight they will cry again, and it will be harder to resist. I am running out of time. If you really enjoyed this story and wants more like this, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button to be notified when we uploaded our next video. Thank you.